It's the most explosive tent city I have ever seen.
And I guess it'll continue to be a state of emergency. They can't just overlook it. I mean, can they?
If you haven't said it yourself, you've probably heard it said. Homelessness in San Francisco has reached a breaking point. But what if we told you San Francisco's homeless population hasn't changed much at all in the past 10 years?
But why stop there? This is a problem 35 years in the making. And tonight, KPIX 5's Wilson Walker takes us back to the very beginning.
What kind of work do you do?
Me? Nothing.
You know, there used to come street people, or there'd be what we used to call bums. And there were people who were sprawled out, maybe didn't have housing, but there wasn't widespread visible homelessness till 1982. 82 to now, you're talking, you know, close, we're over 3 decades.
Napa State Hospital, underfunded and understaffed for years.
It really took a collision of events in the 1970s. Massive cutbacks to mental health, a wave of struggling veterans. The cost of living was rising so fast that we were on our way to rent control, and we had a brutal recession. And all of that happened at the very same time when the government was largely getting out of the business of low-income and public housing. Just ask the folks that lived here in the Western Addition.
The agreement of having 40 units was an agreement that was made to this community in 1965 when the urban renewal process began to get underway. Actually, we were promised 200 units.
In the mid-70s, Richard Nixon decides that we're no longer going to build public housing in the United States.
And between 79 and 83, you lost billions and billions and billions of dollars in affordable housing funding. That's going to lead to homelessness.
And that's why 82 is not an accident.
The Hospitality House, a shelter for the homeless and the unemployed, crowded at midday. At night, people are being turned away.
Elected officials, the Reagan administration, Mayor Feinstein, big city mayors saying it's a temporary problem because it's just happened out of nowhere. It's all temporary.
As part of the city's program, the homeless were to be temporarily housed in hotels.
1,000 units right here in the Tenderloin.
If anybody thinks that local government or some mayor or some plan is going to restore or fill that void that is created when you lose that kind of funding, it's never going to happen.
So the problem gets worse and worse and worse.
Social service workers say the problems right now for the homeless are serious, but they predict the worst is still to come.
Mayor Agnos today unveiled a plan to create housing for the homeless that he says could be a model for the nation.
Agnos was we finally got a mayor who understood the problem.
When we need not have any homelessness.
The people that were working on that for the city took it incredibly seriously, and you can see it in the final document that was produced.
Now that final document now sits on a shelf here at the public library. It was called Beyond Shelter, and it was a plan to get people off the street and into housing that would also be tied to whatever help or clinical treatment someone might need.
The homeless are probably the ugliest, difficult problem we've had in the last 50 years in this country.
Art Agnos can rightfully claim a plan that was ahead of its time. But before it ever really had a chance to work, time and politics caught up with Art Agnos.
Just seen Chopper 5.
The earthquake threw a lot of things off kilter.
The city doesn't have the resources, and then suddenly things are falling apart.
And as a result, the can just keeps getting kicked down the road.
The mayor says the Matrix program was designed to get the homeless off the streets.
Within a year of the Jordan administration, we were forming another freaking task force to write another freaking plan.
The public are demanding some action here by the police department and by me as the mayor of San Francisco.
What they're saying is let's just sweep everybody out of there that looks homeless.
So each successive mayor comes up with their own, quote, plan in order to get elected and stay elected.
We have shelter space. We have drug treatment on demand.
Some advocates say things are worse now for the homeless than ever.
And that may very well be the case. By the mid-90s, some estimates of the street population had topped 8,000, a number significantly more than we see today. By then, the public was completely exhausted with this problem, and the politics surrounding homelessness had started to sound like a broken record.
Oh, Willie, you've out-matrixed the Matrix.
Obviously, they plan on just brutally trying to remove homeless people from San Francisco. I'm consistent. If not, that way I don't have to remember what I ever said.
I would argue, continue to do what you've done. You get what you've got.
He got people who would otherwise not want to fund homeless services to feel like this was a responsible thing to do because the money is going for housing.
You just got that?
Yeah, basically, yeah, I just got it.
With your GA money?
Yeah.
Of course. It's about getting out of the shelter business to the extent we can.
And that extra housing money actually moved the needle. By 2005, the homeless population had dropped about 28%. But then the numbers simply froze.
In Newsom's second term, Care Not Cash has been implemented. He's gotten all the hotels. We still have a homeless problem. We still have encampments, and there's no more money to deal with it.
From there, the years have passed and little has changed. A full decade of the status quo, leading nearly everyone to ask whether we're making any progress at all.
Or is it just shuffling from one deck chair on the Titanic to another?
All right, now I can hear some of you screaming at your television right now saying, we spend $250 million every year on homelessness and we have nearly 7,000 people on the street. And you know something? You're absolutely right. So this week we're going to look at what we actually get for that money and why it doesn't seem to change what we see in front of us. And more importantly, how can we do better with the resources that we have? So stay with us this week, a lot more to come.
Well, you know, the suggestion at the beginning of the report was that there was a correspondence between the lack of funding in public housing and the increase in homelessness on the street. So you would think the solution is the solution simply building more living space?
Well, think about the other big challenge we currently face in San Francisco. Working people can't afford to live in San Francisco, and the notion that we're somehow going to come up with 6,000 more units for homeless people it's a scalable challenge. And then there's the other question, which a lot of people like to bring up, is just the basic numbers, number of people, number of dollars. You often hear people run the basic math on, well, there's this many people, this many dollars, we spend this much per person. I can tell you, as a matter of fact, those people are probably wrong. So we're going to look at all of this as to how
That's happening this week, yeah.
All this week.
All right, Wilson, thank you.